Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Bryony, and I'm head of product at Zoom Catalog. We're excited to have you join us for our first ZOOMstudio demo day. We're going to jump into our presentation. All right, on today's agenda, we are going to cover why we built ZOOMstudio, what it is, who will use it, and then we're going to create some content. At the end, we're going to take some Q&A, so if you have any questions during the session, feel free to type them into the chat box. If you need a one-on-one or additional information, also feel free to reach out to us after. So we're going to start with why we built ZOOMstudio. Our industry has been undergoing a digital transformation for many, many years now, which has accelerated more recently, especially with everything that happened with COVID. Suppliers need to keep up with this digital transformation and consider how the manual processes that they're doing day to day are hurting business. Also, volatile supply chains have plagued our industry. The supply chain issues that suppliers are facing have made it very difficult to create and publish content with accuracy. For example, when you publish a catalog or flyer, it's out of date a week later. There are ways to keep these pieces up to date if they're not printed or if they're digital, but it still is quite challenging. This was another issue we wanted to address with ZOOMstudio. Buyer behavior and expectations have also been changing. They're changing the way that they buy product and their expectations from suppliers. We're also seeing a new generation that wants to be able to easily self-serve. This requires simple software and tools that they can access whenever they need it. And lastly, there's a need for custom content. Distributors can use catalogs and flyers that you've created, but more than ever, it is important to them that they can change pricing or have their branding in there and make those pieces match their specific client requests. This is another thing we wanted to address with ZOOMstudio because it's very difficult to meet these needs with traditional practices. So with ZOOMstudio, we make creating content scalable. So what is ZOOMstudio? ZOOMstudio is the industry's smartest and easiest design tool, enabling you to create custom content at scale. We've created a very simple interface that allows you, your team, and anyone to create with speed and ease. We've introduced integrations with your product data to ensure accuracy and that product information is up to date. We also have an asset library bringing all of your assets like photography, brand logos, photos, etc., together in one place so that you're not scrambling, copying and pasting, and trying to find assets to put something simple together. We've also made sharing and tracking simple. With ZOOMstudio, you can actually see how what you're creating is performing and how customers are engaging with that content. Without ZOOMstudio, this was near impossible. More on that later. So who is it for? ZOOMstudio can be used by many different people and many different teams. Specifically for suppliers, it's most applicable for your marketing team, your sales team, your design team, and distributors. But we wouldn't be surprised if you find other applications that where it can help other teams in your company as well. ZOOMstudio comes with many benefits, some of which I've already touched on. First of all, you can create and capture more demand. We know suppliers are bombarded with requests daily from distributors. They need to present specific products to specific clients, or they're running certain campaigns and need content from you that they can use. Being able to fulfill those requests is very difficult, meaning some things go unfulfilled. With ZOOMstudio, now nothing is off the table. You can create what they need when they need it and get it to them within minutes. You can collaborate more and make better decisions. Before ZOOMstudio, suppliers haven't really had a great tool for putting together presentations. What we've learned is that many just copy and paste URLs from a supplier website into an email, or if a rep is extra ambitious, they might jump into Canva and try and make something there, which is going to be static and probably off-brand. Also, the worst part about that is it's not trackable. You don't know when somebody's viewing it, if it's being shared, if the end user clicked on anything. But with ZOOMstudio, you have control over that entire workflow. You get data and you can use that data to collaborate with the team and make better decisions. You can also design more without spending more. Without ZOOMstudio, you're likely having to add additional designers or outsource design to get more design done. But you can now leverage your team and have your team jump into the tool and create with ease, meaning you don't have to spend more on design. And you can create content in minutes, not hours. So with ZOOMstudio, what used to take weeks, if not months to create, such as a catalog, you can now do it within minutes in ZOOMstudio. Okay, so now we're going to create some content. Before we do, I'm going to set up our use case. As I've already touched on, ZOOMstudio can be used by many different teams and for many different reasons. One of the most common that we see with our suppliers who have ZOOMstudio today is to fulfill these requests that sales reps are getting from distributors to present products. So imagine you're a sales rep. You're on the phone with a distributor, and the distributor has a large client who has an upcoming event, and they would like to order some of your products. They need to have some product sell sheets or a presentation to take back to their customer and show them what they could possibly purchase. So you are now under pressure to get them something that looks great that they can send. What do? As I already touched on, traditionally, maybe you copy and paste a bunch of URLs into an email, or open Google Slides and attempt to design something. Even worse, maybe you just send them to your website and tell them to help themselves. With ZOOMstudio, you can now, while on the phone, create something for them and have it to them before you even hang out. So I'm going to jump into the tool and show you what that looks like. All right, so I'm a rep and I'm going to go ahead and create a new design. So for this use case, I'm focusing on a simple presentation. In our future demo days, we're going to have more targeted sessions talking about making catalogs, lookbooks, and more. So I'm going to start by naming my design. And then I can choose currency. I can also switch the logo. So by default, it's my company logo, but since I'm creating this for a distributor to share, I'm going to upload their logo here and use it throughout the design. I mentioned that with ZOOMstudio, you have a shared library of assets. So you could actually upload all your distributor logos in here and share them across your team. What that means is in the future, when you need to create something for this distributor, you won't have to upload their logo again. They're all at your fingertips, ready for you to use. So the first thing you'll notice when you're in the tool is that it's very simple. This was by design. Our entire goal with ZOOMstudio was to make it so simple to use that anybody could do it within minutes and make sure that the end result looks awesome and is on brand. On the left, we have our pages. In the middle, we have our page. And then on the page, we have what we call a smart layout. This is a basic smart layout with 4 products and a logo. We'll touch on this a bit later, but you can change the layout of your page depending on what you're creating. So I'm going to go ahead and start to add products. When I click add product, it's going to launch our search box. This is where we've connected to your product data. So you'll be able to search for your items by keyword, product ID, and other information relevant to your items. So you'll get your search results based on what you search for, and you can browse them to find the items you want. You can choose a specific color variation if needed, and then add it to your canvas. It will pop onto your page with all of the up-to-date, accurate, and relevant information. And you'll keep going to fill out your page. One more product here. All right, so I am done. These are the perfect products for my customer. I've put this together while I'm on the phone with them. All I need to do is hit publish design and share. Now I have a link that I can quickly copy and paste into an email and send it over to them. They can take a look. If they need me to make changes, I can just jump right back in and adjust and republish those changes. If they're happy with it, they can take that link and send it on to their customer. Now, another thing I'd like to point out is that you'll notice there's limited details of this for this item on the page. We've introduced what we call the sidebar, and that allows you to include other product information that doesn't fit on the page, such as a description, other colors, other product images. So when I click to edit this item, I can markup pricing and change the details. I can also choose what other information I'd like to show with this item. And what that looks like is once my customer is in here, they can click on an item, which will launch the sidebar and show them what other details are available for this product, making this presentation much more sellable. Now, just to show you a little bit more of the capability, I'm going to go ahead and add another page. And for this page, I'm going to change the layout. In our layout library, we have a few different options here. So you can see for this layout, it's 3 stacked products. This layout is 2 products and an image on the right, and so forth. I'm going to add this half and half layout. So this layout is a little different from the other because we have now introduced an image block. This image block is attached to our asset library that we mentioned earlier when looking for a logo. In this library, your team can upload all of the assets that are available for your company, such as your lifestyle shots, photography, and brand assets. So those can be shared with anybody in the tool to enhance their designs. We've also partnered with Unsplash, which is a website that has royalty-free stock art for you to use. There's thousands of beautiful images that you can search and use from. So I'm going to go ahead and look for an item here. And we'll find one that we like. If I want to, I can actually reposition this as well a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more products. And my page is done. So as you can imagine, I could continue on. I could add as many pages as I needed. I can also change the order if I want to make that the first page. I'm going to go ahead and publish my changes. And that's it. So if I have previously shared this link with somebody, when they look at it now, it's going to show the changes and they'll be able to toggle through the pages here. So you can see it's really quick and simple to put together exactly what you need. Now we're keeping this demo short today because it's just a high-level look and we'll answer any questions, but we're going to do a deeper dive into the functionality and what other types of content you can create in future demo day sessions. So we hope you can join us for those as well. Another thing I want to mention is the dashboard. The dashboard allows you to collaborate with your team and also see when your customers are viewing your pieces as well as when they're sharing them. You'll also be able to duplicate and edit your designs here, as well as create editable templates. We'll come back to this during the Q&A. So that is a scenario where ZOOMstudio can really revolutionize your business. Your sales reps can use ZOOMstudio in their day-to-day to fulfill custom requests without having to wait for your design team to put something together, or worse, waiting for an outsourced company to do it. They can jump in here, get it done, and get it to their customer. So now we're going to take some Q&A. Before we take Q&A from our attendees, I'm going to start by answering the 5 most common questions we get when we host a webinar demo of ZOOMstudio. So the first question is, can we make catalogs and lookbooks? I'm just checking the time. So we definitely have some time. I'm going to make a really quick lookbook. I'm going to do this quickly. As mentioned, we'll go into this more deeply in a future session. So I'm going to jump back to ZOOMstudio here, and I'm going to hit Create New Design. Now, because I am making a lookbook, I'm going to take a couple of different steps than I did with my presentation. So we'll name our design, choose currency, and then choose logo. Now, because I'm making a lookbook, I need to start with a cover page. I'm going to go ahead and go to the layout library, choose the cover page layout, And then all I need to do is click on each area and choose the content. So we'll go to Unsplash and we'll drop in this holiday image. We'll give a title. And my cover page is done. Now, when I go add a page, because it's a catalog and not a presentation, I'm going to use a page spread instead of the single page. So we get 2 pages side by side with 2 layouts. I'm going to change the left page to our half and half layout, and I'm actually going to turn off the logo. And then on the right side, I'm going to choose a single page or single product and turn off the logo here as well. And then all I need to do is click and add images and products. So I'm going to find a nice lifestyle shot here. And then we'll pop in some products. So you can see how quick that was for me to put this together. And then I can keep going. I can create dynamic layouts using, or dynamic spreads using different layouts. So I'll do one more for our demo. For this, I'm going to create a page break. So I'm going to have a nice big image with a section name. And then on the right, I'm going to have a stack of 3 products. We'll add an image here. Let's go with this one. I guess I should use a shot that's a bag. Let's go back and redo this. All right, and then I'm going to have a couple bags. So just showing you how dynamic that this tool is and how you can create sections in your catalog. And that's it. So now I have 2 spreads and a cover. I might want to add a back page or some more layouts, but once I'm done, I'll hit Publish Design. And I get my link, and my digital catalog is now online. I am ready to share it with my customer. I can use this in marketing campaigns, in email blasts on my website, and whoever is viewing it can browse as well as click on items for more details. So that's a really quick look at creating a catalog, but join us for a deeper dive in other sessions. So our next question is, can distributors actually customize what we've created? So you can actually design a piece and publish it as a template, an editable template. So you'll go to your settings and turn this on. What that means is when you share it with the distributor, they can start to change things up. They can mark out pricing, they can switch out products, add their branding, and more. This is great if you created some nice flyers or some nice catalogs. When marketing them, you can say, click here to view or click here to make it your own. So you absolutely can share your designs as editable. How do distributors use ZOOMstudio? So in a previous slide, I mentioned that ZOOMstudio can be used by a lot of different people. Today, we focused quite a bit on how it can be used by your internal team, but distributors could absolutely use it as well, just the same way you do. They can jump in here, create presentations, catalogs, and flyers. We'll touch on this a little later, but you can add ZOOMstudio to your website so they can easily access it. How do we connect products to ZOOMstudio? This is a common question and a very important one. So we offer 3 very simple integration methods for you to get your products into ZOOMstudio. The first is we connect with promo standards. If you've implemented promo standards, we can get you up and running on ZOOMstudio really quickly and easily. The second option is API. So you can implement our API to push the data to us. And lastly, spreadsheets. So we can get this set up with your product spreadsheet. We also offer some custom integration. So if none of those were to work for you, we can look at how you do manage your data and find a way to get your data in here. But integration, even though it sounds maybe a little technical, it's really simple and we do all the work on our side. So if you wanted to get going with this, we would take it into our hands and make sure we get everything up and running properly for you. And then the last common question we get is, how do I put it on my website? So I already mentioned distributors can absolutely access this from your website. We have a few different options. The most basic is just to add the link to your site. So you could have a page or link for a design, create your own design or create a presentation, link to your ZOOMstudio so they can find it on your website, jump in and create what they need. We also have some really powerful APIs, which we'll be touching on in a future session, that you can implement throughout your site to allow users or website visitors to create what they need with one single click. So you can use this on your product pages so they can click to create a sell sheet or presentation. And the cool thing about this is it's connected to your product data. So when they click and hit create, it's going to generate it there based on the information that is accurate right now. Some suppliers have these sell sheets on their website, but they've created them in the past, so they are impossible to keep up to date. And then the distributor instantly gets a link. They can take it and share it, or if they want to, they can go in and edit to make some changes, maybe mark up the pricing or add some products. And then we also have an API that you can implement against any lists on your website. We'll get it more into this later in our sessions, but if you have a way for people to bookmark products, create a favorites list, a shopping cart, you can put the API against that list so they can click on one button and create a presentation or catalog with the products in that list. So without leaving your site, with that one click, they're going to get something that they can quickly share with their customers or go in and edit if they need to make some changes. So those are our top questions. We can take questions from the audience now. First question, I run a marketing team. Can I see how my team is using the tool, or how do I manage what my team is doing? That is a really good question. So I mentioned the dashboard briefly earlier. So the dashboard is something you can invite your entire team to use. It's a very powerful tool because when you're in here, you'll be able to see what you're creating as well as what your team is creating. Furthermore, you're going to be able to see how distributors and end users are interacting with those pieces. Have they been viewed and have they been shared? With the dashboard, you can set roles for the different team members. So if you add somebody with the rep role, they'll only see their own designs. If you have the manager role, you'll be able to see what everyone is doing. So if you're managing the team, you should have that manager role and you're going to be able to see what's being shared, how distributors are interacting with it, and how those pieces are being used. Another question, does it have to be 4 products on a page? So I showed during the demo of the catalog that it does not. So these page layouts can be really dynamic. They can match whatever you choose them to be. So just to show you again, we have our layout library here, and we are going to be expanding on this as well. So eventually we'll have quite a few different options to choose from. But even with the ones we have today, you can create some really amazing content. Whether you want to include 1 product or 4 products, you'll choose the layout that meets your needs. Somebody asked how they can get a demo. So if you'd like a demo for your team or to jump on a one-on-one with us, definitely reach out. You can email hello@zoomcatalog.com or fill out the contact form on our website, which is zoomcatalog.com, and we'll get you connected with somebody so we can get on a Zoom call and give you a deeper look. Somebody's asking about pricing. So pricing is dependent on the number of SKUs you have. So it's customized for you. There's going to be one integration fee, and then after that, and you go live, there'll be a reoccurring annual fee. So to get a quote from us for the product, just reach out. We'll discuss your products and your SKUs, and we'll let you know what the cost to you would be. How do teams typically roll this out or get people to use the tool? Another good question. So the beauty of ZOOMstudio is that it is very simple to use. So there is not a huge learning curve, but you definitely need to make your team aware, your distributors aware, and get them in here. We have a lot of onboarding documentation that we can provide you, ways in which to market the tool, to add it to your website, to host training sessions. We have tutorials, so a bunch of videos showing you how to create a catalog, a presentation, and more. And then our team is more than happy to host training sessions for your team. So if you'd like us to join a sales meeting or a distributor webinar, or even have us host one for you, just chat to us and we'll help you get that set up so that you can start educating your users about the tool. It's also really important, especially to get distributors into the tool, to make sure it's easy to find on your website and explains what it is. So we've seen some really amazing landing pages from suppliers where they've highlighted some of the key benefits and made it clear to distributors that if they go to the tool, they'll be able to get exactly what they need to present their products. It's also important to train your team. So I already mentioned that, but we're happy to host those sessions, or you can share our educational content to make sure that your sales reps are equipped with what they need to fulfill the requests when they come in. All right, let's see. Another question on pricing. So definitely reach out. We'll give you your quote based on your SKU count. So if you want to send that over to us, we'll let you know. Okay, well, we're 3 minutes short of the end of the session and I don't have any other questions here. So just a reminder that we are going to be hosting this session a few times in the future. Here's our schedule. We'd love you to join the different sessions. They are going to be different. We're going to be able to teach you how to use the tool in different ways in each session. We also are working on new features and constantly releasing them. So in these future sessions, you'll be able to see what's new and how they're beneficial to you. So we really appreciate all of you for taking the time to join us today, and we hope this was helpful. It was high level, so if you want a deeper dive, reach out to us. We're more than happy to connect. And we hope to be able to help your team and your distributors create content at scale with ZOOMstudio. So thank you so much for joining us today, everybody. Bye-bye.